All right, what's going on, guys? I am Kadarius Washington, and it is a Football Friday, so y'all already know what that means. It's time for another edition of the CW Six Pack, where each week we take six or more NFL games on the slate and we pick them against the spread. And for the second straight week, we went 500 in our picks. We went 3-3 last week. We got bailed out with Minnesota minus 3.5 against Cleveland. We got burned with Philly minus 3.5 against Denver. Philly had that 17-3 lead at the fourth quarter and blew it. We won with Detroit minus 10.5 against Cincinnati. We lost with the Chargers minus 2.5 against Washington. We won with the Patriots plus 7.5 against Buffalo, and we lost with Kansas City minus 3.5 against Jacksonville. But at the same time, you can say that we did get burned in that game too, losing that one in the final seconds. So another 500 week. Our season total is still at 500, 16-16-1 on the year. Let's try to get over 500 this week. It's a new week. Time for some new picks, and here we go. So game number one, let's do the London game. We've got the Denver Broncos taking on the New York Jets. Broncos 7.5-point favorites here. Of course, Denver coming off of that win against the Eagles, like I just mentioned, coming back from that 17-3 deficit in the fourth quarter. And the Jets are coming off of a 37-22 loss to the Dallas Cowboys. And the New York Jets have been just plain awful this year. And right now, I guess in typical Jets fashion, they're the only winless team in the league. And Aaron Glenn, listen, I loved the Aaron Glenn hire, but from the way things are going, you have to start to wonder whether or not we could be looking at a one-and-done situation here for Aaron Glenn. I mean, and the defense, too. I thought the defense was supposed to be at least somewhat good, especially given Glenn was the former defensive coordinator in Detroit, and those defenses were good. This Jets defense has been terrible this year. They have not held an opponent to under 27 points this season. And meanwhile, you have the Broncos, who look like they're finding their footing, stringing back-to-back wins against the Bengals and the Eagles. Honestly, I feel like 7.5 does feel like a lot of points for this matchup, but I'm going to lay that 7.5, and I'm going to go with the Broncos here. All right. Let's do the New England Patriots against the New Orleans Saints. Patriots 3.5-point favorites on the road. Both teams coming off wins. Patriots with the win last Sunday night against the Bills. And the Saints coming off of their first win of the season against the New York Giants. And like I said last week, Drake May is off to a phenomenal start this year, completing 74% of his throws, 1,261 yards, 7 touchdowns to only 2 picks on the year. I think this Patriots offense is going to be too much for this Saints defense. Like I mentioned, the Saints did get their first win of the year last week. But I'm finding it hard to see them keeping that momentum in this game against a Patriots team who's clearly better than I thought they would be. So I'm going to lay the 3.5 here with the Patriots. All right, let's do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the San Francisco 49ers. Tampa Bay 3.5-point favorites here on the road. Both teams coming off of close wins. Tampa Bay with that last-second win against the Seahawks, and the Niners against in that overtime win last Thursday night against the Rams. Both of these teams have been getting absolutely destroyed by injuries. No Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin, and no Bucky Irving this week for Tampa. And the 49ers, my goodness, they have been getting absolutely blown up by injuries. I mean, look at this 49ers injury report. Jordan Watkins, questionable. Brock Purdy, questionable. Ricky Pearsall, questionable. Jawan Jennings, questionable. Robert Beal Jr., questionable. George Kittle, IR. Nicky Bosa, IR. Brandon Ayuk, out. I mean, that is a whole lot of injuries here. And Tampa, I think coming into this matchup, I feel like they're the better team. the more healthier team in this matchup here, and I like them to win and cover the 3.5. All right, Sunday Nighter. We got another big matchup here on Sunday Night Football, which people are also calling a potential Super Bowl preview. Let's see about that. We've got the Detroit Lions taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs 2.5-point favorites here at home. The Lions coming off of a win last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Chiefs coming off of that heartbreaking loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars last Monday night. And Trevor Lawrence, of course, for the Jags, winning that game on an actual stumble bum, if you can believe it. But anyway, to me, one of the biggest surprises of the season so far is that the Chiefs have still not gotten over 500 this year. Their only 2 wins this season were against a Russell Wilson-led Giants team and a Ravens defense whose season is going down the toilet, and with a defense who can't stop a parked car, and all the teams that they've lost to on the year all have winning records. But the Chiefs, they're going to finally get Rashee Rice back next week after dealing with that 6-game suspension. But this week, they're going up against one of, if not the best offense in football in the Detroit Lions, who have been smacking defenses upside the head since losing to Green Bay in Week 1. They have not had a game scoring under 27 points this season, and they've scored 30 or more in their last 4 games. But the Lions do have a banged-up secondary. Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph are questionable at the moment, and Avonte Maddox is sounding like a game-time decision, so I would pay attention to that. I kind of understand why the Chiefs are the favorite, but I'm going to take the 2.5, and I'm going to go with Detroit in this matchup. All right, Monday night, we have another Monday night doubleheader, and let me just say this. I think I said it before. I don't like these Monday night doubleheaders where you have one game starting at 7 and one game at 8 with the 2 games being played at the same time. I would much rather have a coast-to-coast Monday night doubleheader where you have an East Coast team host a game at 7 and a West Coast team start a game at 10 o'clock. But nevertheless, it's football, so let's enjoy it while we still have it. But anyway, Monday night doubleheader, game 1, we've got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Buffalo 4.5-point favorites here on the road. Bills coming off of that loss to the Patriots on last Sunday night, and the Falcons coming off a bye. The Bills, as I mentioned, are a good team, but they're flawed. They have a really good offense, but a not-so-good defense. And Michael Penix Jr. coming off of a really good game before the bye against Washington, 20 for 26, 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick with a passer rating of 126. I think the Bills are going to come out with a vengeance in this game, wanting to avenge that loss from last week. I think it'll be close, but I like the Bills to win and cover the 4.5. All right, game number 2. We've got the Chicago Bears taking on the Washington Commanders. And, of course, last year when these 2 teams faced off, in Washington no less, I think we all know what happened. Jaden freaking Daniels with that Hail Mary in the final seconds to win the game for Washington. But anyway, the Bears are coming off a bye. The Commanders coming off of that win against the Chargers. And, of course, the Bears were bailed out before the bye last week with that blocked field goal against the Raiders. That Bears defense has not been all that great this season, and the Commanders looked much better last week against the Chargers. I like the Commanders a lot in this game. I think their offense is going to do really well against that Bears defense. I don't think we're going to get another Hail Mary situation at the end of the game like we got last year, but I'm going to take the Commanders to win and cover the 4.5. All right, so my picks this week, I'm going with the Broncos -7.5, the Patriots -3.5, the Buccaneers minus 3.5, the Lions minus 2.5, the Bills minus 4.5, and the Commanders minus 4.5. Like, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell to be notified of when I post again, and also follow me on Twitter and on Bluesky at CW Talk Sports. That's CWTALKS Sports. Enjoy the football, everyone, and I will see y'all the next time. Peace.